There was a time when I was a farmer. I knew the rhythms of soil and seed, the patience of waiting for shoots to break the earth, the satisfaction of harvest under golden suns. My hands were calloused, not from war but from work. My back bent, not from burden but from plow and hoe. And I thought myself pious, for what greater devotion than to feed the Imperium? What greater offering than grain for the guard, fruit for the tithe, flesh for the emperor's hungry machine? But the harvest was always cruel. Drought, pestilence, blight. We struggled, we starved. We buried children for each handful of grain the tithe demanded. The emperor did not answer. The priests called it trial, but trials without end are not trials. They are abandonment. When the sky turned green with rot and the rivers swelled with pus, I thought it the end. But it was not the end. It was a beginning. For Grandfather Nurgle does not take without giving. He does not demand without blessing. And where the soil once yielded grudgingly, now it teems with bounty. Where flesh once starved, now it overflows. I am harvester now. Not farmer, not serf, not slave of tithe, harvester. And what I reap is his bounty. You would not recognize our fields, though they are more fertile than any shrine, world garden. The stalks grow tall and thick, but they are not green. They are blackened, veined with purple, swollen with cysts that burst when the wind shakes them. Their leaves weep a resin that hisses when it touches soil, feeding it with corruption. Their roots writhe when pulled, as though reluctant to leave the womb of earth. And the fruit, oh, the fruit is wondrous. Orbs of flesh that pulse like beating hearts, gourds that swell until their skins split, releasing clouds of spores that glisten like golden dust, tubers that squirm when bitten, wriggling down the throat with eager hunger. To the unblessed eye, it would seem horror. But I have tasted this harvest, and it is good. It fills the belly with warmth, it swells the muscles with vigor, it banishes the hunger that gnawed us for generations. We eat, and we thrive. We eat, and we change. Our skin thickens, our bodies swell, our veins bulge with the richness of corruption. Children grow strong, their bones bending into new shapes better suited for our world. The weak die swiftly, but even in death they nourish the fields, their bodies sprouting blooms that feed the next generation. Nothing is wasted. All is bounty. We harvesters do not plow with iron. We reap with flesh. Our scythes are carved from femurs, sharpened to razors, bound with sinew that flexes like living muscle. Our sickles drip constantly, their edges sweating venom that ensures every cut festers into growth. Our baskets are stitched from hides, their interiors slick with mucus so that nothing we gather dries or spoils. We wear no gloves, for our hands must be bare to the work. The lesions that line our palms are not wounds but blessings, weeping constantly, feeding spores into the soil as we touch it. Our feet crack open when we walk, and from them drip worms that burrow into the furrows, loosening earth for new growth. Every tool is alive. Every tool thirsts for work. When I carry my scythe, it hums with hunger, twitching toward the ripest blooms, eager to cut. When I sling my basket, it tightens, pulsing like a heart, digesting what I place within, until it is ready for the next stage of the harvest. I am not farmer, not craftsman. I am organ of the soil, extension of Grandfather's body. His rot flows through me. His growth extends from me. His hunger fills me. Our harvests do not follow the Emperor's calendar. We have our own seasons, dictated not by sun or star, but by the rhythms of corruption. The season of seeding begins with the rains of pus. Clouds gather, bloated and green, until they burst across the fields. We wade knee, deep in yellow flood, scattering seeds of flesh, each twitching as it sinks into the muck. The soil swallows them greedily, and by dawn the fields already pulse with new life. The season of blossoming comes with the fever. Winds, insects bloom in swarms, their wings humming in harmonies that shake the stalks, pollinating them with venom. Flowers of bone and sinew open, their petals glistening with ichor, their stench intoxicating. This is when we kneel among them, inhaling deeply, letting the spores root within us, becoming part of the harvest ourselves. The season of rot is richest of all. Fruit swells and bursts, gourds collapse into heaps of slime, tubers split open to release crawling larvae. This is when we cut, when we reap, when we fill our baskets with dripping bounty. We eat our fill. We preserve what we can in jars of bile, and we scatter the rest back into the earth. For the harvest never ends. It only transforms. And finally, the season of quiet. The fields seem barren, the stalks withered, the soil still. But beneath the surface, the rot deepens, the worms multiply, the seeds gestate. It is not death, it is waiting. And in waiting, it is holy. The harvest is not work. It is worship at dawn. We gather at the edges of the fields. The slaughter, bells toll, not of brass, but of swollen growths beaten with bone, each note spraying spores across us. We strip bare, for no cloth may separate flesh from soil. We smear ourselves with the juices of yesterday's harvest, pus across the chest, bile upon the brow, blood across the lips. Then we step into the fields. The scythes rise and fall in rhythm. The stalks split open with wet sighs. The fruits gush across our bodies as we gather them. The air hums with flies. The ground squelches with worms. The sky rains spittle from the clouds. As we reap, we chant, bounty, bounty, evermore. Rot to feed, decay to store. Flesh for root, and root for flesh. Grandfather's gift, unending, fresh. Each cut is a prayer. Each basket filled is a hymn. Each mouthful consumed is communion. And when the day ends, we do not rest. We feast. We gorge upon the bounty until our bellies rupture, and then we scoop the spillage back into our mouths, laughing, singing, praising. For the harvest is endless, and to eat is to worship. Even the Imperium has noticed. They demand their share as always. They send transports to claim their tithe of grain, expecting crates of wheat or sacks of rice. We give them our harvest. They never ask questions. They see only abundance, crates filled to bursting, fruits heavy and glistening, tubers fat and writhing. They seal them in their holds, ignorant of the spores that seep into their lungs, the larvae that burrow into their flesh, the plague that waits in each mouthful. By the time they reach the next world, the harvest has already spread. Crews cough and wheeze. Their bellies swell with parasites. Their skin blossoms with lesions. They feast still, for the bounty compels them. And by the time they realize, it is too late. Thus the harvest spreads. Thus Grandfather's bounty reaches every corner of the galaxy. Our children are the truest proof of his blessing. Born not weak and mewling, but strong, swollen with his gifts. Some are born with second mouths in their bellies, to feed more quickly. Some with roots sprouting from their feet, so they may nourish the soil as they walk. Some with eyes clouded in cataract, but within those cataracts glow the green fire of his gaze. We love them all. None are cast aside, none are judged. For each deformity is a gift, each mutation a blessing, each change a mark of his care. They play among the fields, rolling in the slime, chasing flies, laughing as they splash in puddles of pus. Their songs are shrill, joyous, infectious, and when they grow, they will take up the scythe and the basket, and they too will harvest. We sing as we work. Our voices rise not in beauty but in honesty, wheezing, gurgling, rasping, but in harmony nonetheless. Rot is life. Decay is growth. Death is birth. Bounty unending. Our hymn carries across the fields, through the valleys, into the towns. Even the sick join in, their coughs and retches adding percussion to our song. The dying hum along with their last breath, and when they fall, their bodies join the fields, sprouting blossoms that add their voices to the chorus. It is not mournful, it is joyous, for we are never alone. The soil sings with us, the worms hum, the flies drone, the fruit pulses in rhythm. The entire world is a choir, and we are but one part. The Imperium calls it corruption. The priests call it damnation. The soldiers call it plague. We call it truth. For in the end, all flesh rots, all bones crumble, all worlds decay. The Imperium may burn our fields, poison our rivers, slaughter our children, but they cannot stop the harvest. For the harvest is not bound to one place. It is the nature of life itself. And when the last star dies, when the last fortress crumbles, when the last emperor's statue is dust, still there will be soil, still there will be rot, still there will be harvest. We are eternal. We are the Harvesters of Nurgle.